Amazon sellers should continue to diversify their portfolio of marketplaces, including their website. Today, I'm going to talk briefly about SEO for your website, some action items that you could take today that will affect your sales and your branding very quickly. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and our podcast, as always focuses on traffic improvements and conversion increases to improve your sales on Amazon and other marketplaces. So today we're focusing briefly on websites, and most of you should have a Shopify site or a WordPress site of some kind up representing your brand. If you don't, I recommend you invest in one. Shopify is definitely the preferred choice at this time. I do offer website builds, $2,000 a pop. Go to myshopifyguy.site. I'll put that at the top of the notes. But for those that do have a site, it may not be your number one priority. In fact, most likely 95% of you, it's very distant on your priority list. So today is going to be an action item that you can take within 5 minutes. Go make a quick change that will positively impact your future. So specifically, I'm going to be talking about meta tags. And a meta tag is code that can be viewed by Google or other search engines from your site to interpret the data, or in many cases, show the SERPs or the search engine more information about your site quickly. So if you're going to make an edit to a meta tag, it can be very valuable because often the case it's either not set or it's got an automated setting in place. And so if you want a quick hit today, what I recommend you do is set your home page meta tag, something you can do in less than 5 minutes and is very easy to access typically in most e-commerce platforms. You log in, you hit edit on top of your home page. So if you're using something like WordPress, you just hit edit page in the WordPress editor, go to the SEO section. You can have like a Yoast plugin or another plugin that does that. And then you simply start hitting edit on the title tag or the HTML title, as well as the meta description. And what these two fields translate in Google is the hyperlink at the very top of the search result. So if you were to type in, for example, right now, My Amazon Guy into your search engine, you would see that our title tag reads My Amazon Guy, Amazon Seller Central, e-commerce agency. And I made an update to my title tag today, and Google should crawl it probably by tomorrow. And my goal is to rank my homepage for Amazon Seller Central agency. I want to get to the top 5 of that specific search term so that I can increase my agency's likelihood to gain new clientele searching for that. And then the meta description. So actually, let's go back to the title briefly. So I changed my title tag today to Seller Central Agency, Grow Amazon Sales with My Amazon Guy. The biggest feature that my agency offers is that we grow sales on Amazon. I know that if you hire us and we grow your sales, no matter what else happens, let's say we get bad customer service, we never pick our phones up, obviously we do, but if we grow your sales, you're going to be happy, right? Like that's where I want to hang my hat. I don't like having to report hours or project updates on a tic-tac basis. I prefer to just be measured by growth and sales. So I hang my hat there. Therefore, I focus all of my content around that concept, including my meta tag. So for your brand, you need to figure out what the case is for your brand, and that should be in your title tag. The name of your brand should be in your title tag in some location, but more than likely, I would put it at the end of the title tag. Your title tag can be up to about 60 characters. I wouldn't go longer than 60. It'll start to get truncated. And so ours, again, is changing to Seller Central Agency, Grow Amazon Sales with My Amazon Guy. And then the meta description, which currently reads, My Amazon Guy is an Amazon advertising sponsored ads accredited agency, an optimized PPC strategy has been crucial to success on Amazon, right? So that's what it currently is, and I'm changing it to my Amazon guide grows your Seller Central sales through PPC, SEO keywords, A+, EBC content design, and FBA catalog merchandising. 30-person full-service agency. And so I'm maximizing 157 characters out of the 160, so it doesn't truncate. And my goal, again, is to rank for these terms circulating around Seller Central Agency and cursory terms like PPC and SEO for Amazon, or content design like A+ content. And that's why I wrote out A+ EBC content design, so I can rank for the various iterations that people use. So for your brand, let's say you sell chef knives, then you would want to say why your chef knives are the best chef knives ever, and you'd want to find keywords that are related to your chef knives. And so there's, let's say you sell Japanese steel or whatever it might be. Maybe you sell a forged knife, or maybe your knife is special because the metal goes from hilt to the end tip and it's one piece of metal. And people pay a premium for that because it's a higher quality metal. It stays sharper, it's firmer, better grip, etc. Not plastic at the end or whatever. So the reason why you should do these things for your title tag and your meta description is because not only is it the first thing that comes up when somebody searches your brand, and let's say, you know, you're a brand that's sold 0 on your website, but you still have a brand website for whatever reason. It's still important to do this, because if you sell on Amazon, a percentage of those people are going to look you up on Google, or they're going to look you up on Bing or another search engine. Yeah, nobody uses Bing, I know. But in any case, if they do that, you want to be able to reinforce that you're the same brand that they found on Amazon and have that omni-channel approach. And as the more marketplaces you gain, whether you're on eBay, Walmart, Etsy, Shopify, Amazon, you name it, you want to have that omni-channel approach with a consistent branding message with your main core feature. What's the one reason somebody should do business with you versus somebody else? That should be addressed in your title tag and meta description. Now, there are some great tools to help you select the keywords and the wording, and there are ways to see like what has the most impressions. So when I was the acquisition marketing director at APMEX, American Precious Metals Exchange, I worked there almost a year to the date. And if you go and look at that website in any SEO tool, whether it's SEMrush or Ahrefs or any SEO tool, you can literally guess my start date from looking at a graph of the SEO traffic of that company. It's that blatantly obvious. I increased their SEO traffic by 10 million uniques, not all traffic, but specifically organic traffic by 10 million uniques to their website. And I did that through the things that we just spoke about in a mass scale. So I did it on the home page. I set the meta tags on every single page. There are 100 different things you can do to improve your SEO rankings. And so I've talked about the first one today, which is your meta tags of your title tag and your meta description. And that has more impact on your SEO than anything else. So you don't need to hire an agency to go set your meta tag of your homepage. But if what I've just described is too complicated, we would happily do this on your behalf and do it for your whole site. And you can reach out and ask me if that's something you're interested in. But the second and the third thing I'll talk about on improving your SEO, the second is your site speed. And in the last few years, Google has made it increasingly obvious that site speed has a massive impact on your SEO traffic. And that's because they don't want to show a 10-second page load time for some random brand on Google. They just don't, right? So they're going to penalize sites with slow speed. There's an update for site SEO called Hummingbird and I want to say it's about 7 years old at this point. And site speed became very important, and specifically mobile site speed. So if you want a quick tool to figure out what your site speed is and what's causing your site to not load very well, you can go to developers.google.com and put your website in and hit the Analyze button. So I just redesigned the My Amazon Guy website. So if you haven't been there in a while, feel free to go check it out. Go to myamazonguy.com. You're going to notice I did some cool stuff with the site. I'm actually really excited about this. So on the homepage, I'm doing something that nobody in the industry is doing. I'm giving somebody an option. You land on my homepage and it says, do you want to grow your Amazon sales or solve a problem? And if you want to grow your Amazon sales, you click the left button, and down has a drop down that says, I'm interested in PPC, SEO design, and catalog management, the 4 pillars that we service to grow Amazon sales. And if somebody selects just PPC, I land them on my PPC page. If somebody selects just SEO, I land them on my SEO page. The list goes on, design and catalog management. But if somebody selects 2 of these or more, let's say I want PPC and SEO, and hit submit, I want to talk to them personally. I personally want to talk to them because I know that they're going to need full service management. And so that's how I'm going to service this particular client. I'm going to take their contact information, so it goes to a contact page. And then in here, after it goes through the contact page, it will pull up my calendar to schedule a free introductory call. Now, that's going to be a way for me to funnel people in to my website. And on the second section, there's a button called Solve a Problem. Now, the reason why I separated this question out to grow sales or solve a problem is because 80% of the people reaching out to me right now are reaching out because they want to solve a problem. And there's been more problems on Amazon in the last 2 months than there has been in the last 3 years combined. It's out of control right now. And so I'm trying to service those individuals, those sellers who might be a smaller seller who can't afford full service management, or they don't want full service management. They just want me to solve that one problem immediately. They got their listing taken down. They've got, they saw a traffic drop off. They got a keyword indexing issue, or they just want a strategy check-in, right? So if you hit solve a problem, you put your contact information in, and then depending on the information, we're going to likely land you on book a coaching call. Because if you have an Amazon problem, a coaching call is the #1 way to go about solving it. So the reason why I went through so much information here about my site redesign is because as I went to the developers.google.com check and I ran it, my site right now has a 16 out of 100 score. It's a problem. And we have a WordPress based site. I recommend Shopify if you're doing e-commerce selling goods, but WordPress is typically a little bit better if you're selling a service, which is why I've got the agency on WordPress. So I have a challenge that I'm going to be trying to solve here over the next month to fix this up. My current site speed is at 3.6 seconds. I want to get it down to 1.5. So my recommendation to you today, if you got 5 minutes of effort, go set your homepage meta tags and go to developers.google.com and put your site in and take a peek at this. This is directly from Google, very intelligent information and tool here, and it will tell you exactly what's wrong with your site to improve its speed. Now, the hard part is actually fixing it, but the easy part is diagnosing it. So in my particular instance, I have an issue with our first content paint, or FCP. And what that means is when it first loads the site, it's taking 3.6 seconds to like first populate. And then there's a larger content paint that it loads some cursory things. And so in my instance, we have a lot of unused JavaScript. We have some WordPress plugins, and we have YouTube videos all showing up on the home page. And that's the problem that I have to go and solve. And and so those kinds of problems are usually going to require a UI developer or somebody who's smart on site infrastructure. A designer is not the right person to hire for a site speed issue. You will need an expert on this. You cannot hire me to fix your site speed, unfortunately. That is above my knowledge set. So you'll have to talk. So one of the things you could do is cache your site, and you could use like Verizon Edgecast. I've used them several times in the past to get site speed down by caching the site. But they're, that's going to cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So you need to be a big brand to want to afford that and do that. But as I scroll down my site, there's a lot of assets on the site. And it's because I want to give a lot of information about who we are and what we do. And on my homepage, I load 5 YouTube videos. And then I also have a bunch of widgets that talk about information like what we do and how we do it, right? Trying to showcase the fact that we're a Seller Central agency and we increase traffic and improve conversion rates, and we're accredited by Amazon for PPC. So I go through all that information, talk through all that stuff, but I've got too many widgets, got too much junk, and we're going to have to do some culling or some improvements to fix some of that up. So site speed, really, really crucial to fix up your SEO. Meta tags, much easier to solve. And then the third and final thing I'm going to tell you about is photo, title, and alt text. This is as easy as setting the meta tags. So whether in WordPress or Shopify, you simply go into the image, and it could be in like the library of where the images are, and you simply just tag it. And so, for example, if you got a picture of a product, typically the title tag should be the name of the product. And then the alt text should be like the description of the product. A lot of people forget to set these alt texts and title tags, and it's a big missed opportunity for SEO on your site. And it's very easy to set. You go into your library of images, right-click on any image, and simply just set the title and the alt text. Super basic, super easy to do. And so if you do this, it's another signal, much weaker than the meta tags, but still very strong in mass. Because if you think about it, your website's got hundreds of images on it. And if you haven't set the alt text yet, and let's say, and in my instance, I want to rank for Amazon Seller Central Agency. Like that's what I'm hyper focused on. So I'm going to make sure that that word exists in as many images as humanly possible, even icons, even if it's just a picture of me, whatever it might be. I'm going to want to make sure that I've got the alt text chock full of the keywords that I'm looking for. There are tools where you can use to figure out what the impression volume is of a particular keyword. And one of those tools is called Semalt, and it's a free version of what SEMrush is. So if you go to myamazonguy.semalt.global, it's a free version that I'm giving out to my listeners. And you can check it out. So I'm going to type in myamazonguy.com into this. You're going to see that I rank for right around 650 keywords, and it shows you just the distribution of what they currently rank for. So as you look at this chart from June to October, you can see we've made some improvements on our keyword ranking. So our keywords in the top 100 went from 418 to 699. That's in the course of 3 months. So further proof, I know what I'm talking about. We're actively making improvements, actively indexing for additional keywords. And as you go down the list, believe it or not, one of our best keywords is Amazon Seller Login. And that's because I made a video 2 years ago about how to log in and change your login details for Amazon Seller Central. So we're ranked 13th for this, and this gets 50,000 searches a month. Now, sadly, I'm ranked 13 for this, and so I'm not at the top of page 1, but my video is. And so we gain hundreds and hundreds of visitors to our site every month from gaining traffic to that keyword. And so you can look at your competitor's site and do the same thing. So like if I were to put in competitor agencies, or if you were to put in competitor brands, you can go duplicate the keywords that they are currently ranking for. And that is obviously very beneficial, because if they're ranking for it, they're getting traffic for it. Otherwise, Google wouldn't be ranking them for it. And it's probably important, and it's in their content, and they've optimized for it. You get the idea. So gave you 3 great tips today on how to improve your site traffic. And even if you're not actively trying to generate sales, it's highly beneficial. At bare minimum, go take 5 minutes of effort, set your meta tags for your homepage. If you need help to set your meta tags for your site, go to myamazonguy.com and hire us. Contact us, let us know what you're interested in. We do primarily focus on Amazon sellers, but every Amazon seller should have a website, and we're happy to help you out with this. So with that in mind, I will have a bunch of links for more information on some of these free tools that I mentioned. So even if you don't want to hire us, you want to go do it yourself, there's a lot of great information that I've given in this pod about how to improve your own site SEO. Give them a whirl and let me know how it goes. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and every week we in our podcast talk about how to grow traffic and conversion rate improvements to make your sales go up on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and your website.